Let's bring in Republican Congressman Brian Mast of Florida. He's a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee and a retired Army Staff Sergeant. He's also volunteered and served alongside Israel's defense forces. Congressman, thank you for your service and happy Memorial Day to you.
Thank you.
I want to get your first response to some of the reports that we've got coming out of Israel tonight. There was the rocket attack, followed by the attack there. Israel is now investigating what it strikes as it killed a couple of Hamas leaders. Also reports of a few dozen civilians who have died. What's your reaction to that?
I think you look at two things. One, the fact that there are still rocket attacks threatening Tel Aviv, Israel. It shows you that the job is not done. The mission is not complete yet. They still have a mechanism to receive arms, whether through tunnels going into Egypt or other places. There is still a supply chain that is feeding Hamas. There are still Hamas fighters that are out there engaging in attacking Israel, and they still want to see no Israel exist. The other side of this that unfortunately we do not see outrage for is that there will continue to be civilian casualties if the world does not become up in arms about the fact that Hamas purposefully embeds themselves with civilians, purposefully places civilians in front of themselves, aid workers in front of themselves, purposely tries to use UNRWA as a location, their locations, to build tunnels for Hamas that go into Egypt and other places. As long as that's allowed to continue, then we will see what unfortunately the world doesn't want to see, which is a civilian killed here or a civilian killed there because of what Hamas does.
Well, the international pressure we have seen is for Israel to completely stop its offensive in Rafah. Do you think that this continuing international pressure has affected Israel at all?
There's no question that Israel sees the international pressure. But what's most stark to me is the fact that America is allowing itself, President Biden is allowing America to be pulled into this, and continually forgetting the fact that we have Americans currently being held by these terrorists. We have Americans that were killed on October 7 by these terrorists, and there has never been an expectation that there will be Americans sent to come get those Americans that are being held. That's what's going on with this administration. No guarantee that America is there for Americans. That's not what this country is about, especially on Memorial Day.
So the International Criminal Court has advanced arrest warrants for the Prime Minister of Israel, the head of the defense there. The House is going to consider sanctions against the ICC. Do you think those will pass the House? Do you think they'll pass Congress? And do you think that the administration should go ahead and sanction the ICC?
So myself, Representative Chip Roy, Senator Tom Cotton, we've been at the forefront of authoring those sanctions. I do believe that they will go through the House. The holdup on them right now, or let's say the impasse on them right now, is whether there should be a presidential waiver for some of these people from the ICC to be allowed in for, say, the UN General Assembly if the president determines that that's what he wants to do. And many of us say there should be no waiver whatsoever. That's really the only impasse going on in this. But no, we should not recognize the ICC in any way whatsoever. They were an entity that was meant to deal with countries that don't have court systems, don't have justice systems, and here they are working towards trying to arrest Prime Minister Netanyahu for defending his country against terrorists that purposely put civilians in front of themselves.
And the ICC has caught bipartisan criticism here in the U.S. And Congressman, I want to move on to what your message is for Americans on this Memorial Day.
This is a day, as many have said, it's specifically for remembering those that fought and gave their lives. I know that you guys aired what I believe to be the two most important hymns to the United States of America, which was first the Star-Spangled Banner, our national anthem, which should give us all just pride, send our chin up and our chest out for this country. And then you aired immediately following that the taps. And for those of us that have lost friends in service, you hear that slow, solemn hum of taps. It brings us to tears. You know, we've seen it with flags draped over the coffins of our friends. That's what this day is about. It's about remembering that sacrifice, remembering that some of us get to continue living, and make sure that we live worthy of that sacrifice.
Florida Congressman Brian Mast, also a veteran. Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated.